Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to the Plastic Guy channel, where today we're going to be taking a closer look at this NECA retro cloth Hatchet figure. And oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I know I always say that, but I really am this time. I cannot believe we have a Victor Crowley Hatchet figure. If you're a fan of the channel, you'll probably know I love my slashers, especially judging on some of the videos I've brought out before on the likes of Ghostface, Michael Myers, etc, etc. And maybe unknown to you all, Hatchet is up there with the slasher movies for me. I mean, in terms of top 3 slashes, for me it's probably Scream, the original Halloween, or Halloween 2, or Halloween 2018, and then it's the first Hatchet movie. It is amazing. It's so underrated, and if you haven't seen Hatchet, guys, definitely go check it out. It is, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's really fun, it's really gory, and in terms of a slasher, it's just amazing. As I said, I do believe it's quite underrated, and I've not seen a lot of folk talk about it, especially up with the big names of Scream, Halloween, Friday the 13th, etc. Obviously, they are the big boys, but for me, Hatchet is just as fun and it's just as good. I don't really remember how I found out about it, but I did end up just stumbling across it. I did pick up the DVD in my local pound shop in the town, and I was kind of blown away by it. I showed all my friends straight away, and they all love it too. So with that being said, I had to pick up this figure as soon as I saw it was announced. And I just can't believe NECA have decided to release it. As I said a couple times now, I don't think a lot of folk know about Hatchet, but NECA went for it, and hopefully, as per usual, they have smashed it. So I can't wait to take this guy out of the packaging and really just check him out. With all that being said, guys, let me know down in the comment section below, what is your favourite slasher film? As I said, for me it's probably the original Scream film, one of the Halloweens, or definitely Hatchet 1. And with that being said, Hatchet 2 is also a very good slasher film as well. There is about 4 or 5 of these films now, however the first 2 are certainly the best. While you're down there, guys, if you could be so kind to hit that like button, and also just make sure you smash that subscribe button to keep up to date with videos on figures and collectibles such as this guy right here. But let's not wait any longer, let's check out this Victor Crowley figure, and let's do what we always do on the channel and take a closer look at the box. So I believe this is the first retro cloth figure we've taken a look at on this channel. Normally with NECA it is the Ultimate figures, but yeah, I think this is the first retro cloth. I do have Michael Myers and I do have Ghostface. However, with these retro packages, I do like to keep them shut. I like to keep them on display in the clamshell like so. You can open them up, which I will go on to in a minute. But yeah, I mean, it's Victor Crowley from Hatchet. I had to make a video on this guy and open him up certainly. So here is the packaging. I really like it. I've got some really nice artwork in this clamshell here. And we can open it up and take a better look at the artwork, but you can get the idea going on. It's just your typical clamshell. And this is how kind of all the NECA retro cloths come. So yeah, you can see the artwork at the back as well. But we're just going to pop the box open, and a wee gripe I have with these NECA retro cloth figures is opening these boxes up. So as you see, you can just lift it open like the lid here, take your figure out, and also take the artwork out. But yeah, this is your kind of protective casing here. And to get this open, you need to go round with a sharp knife, poke out all these wee bits, and sort of, do a bit extra work cutting these open and then pull it apart. And I'm just saying, it is not the easiest at all. It's not the most user friendly at all, and there must be an easier way for NECA to do it, to be honest, because the amount of times I've came close to cutting myself. In fact, previously with figures, the Ghostface NECA retro cloth, I did cut myself, and yeah, it's just a bit of a hassle when the plastic's all kind of sharp as well. Don't mean to sound like a wuss, but I just think NECA could do maybe a better job of making the packaging just a bit more accessible if you're wanting to open it up. Anyway, here's the artwork we get, and it's fantastic. Just look at this here. I mean, it's a product image, but it looks, so realistic. Got some more here. And I just love the fact that we get such high detailed artworks like this. I mean, you could put this up on your wall, especially the front here as well. It just looks terrific. So I'm really happy with that. Take a closer look here. Severed head, Victor Crowley, 17 up, warning. Got Victor Crowley there, Hatchet, and yeah, the back again. So awesome artwork, love it. And let's take a look at the figure. And here he is. Here is Victor Crowley in the plastic, not flesh, in the plastic. And yeah, he looks awesome. He looks everything that I expected him to be. We'll just check out his accessories first. So he comes with this alternative hand to the one he's got in at the moment. They do both look similar, but the way the hatchet is kind of falling, slipping out of this hand, I think this one is the one that's meant to be ported in pretty much so that it's a lot tighter fit and it's not going to fall out. But I do have it in this hand at the moment, so I don't really feel the need to swap them over. This is the part where I wish I watched the film quite recently as opposed to maybe a year or year and a half ago now, because I don't really remember the part in the film where this is used. It looks like a belt sander. I can only imagine what he did with this. But yeah, I mean, I'm guessing it's a completely iconic part in the film and it's just totally escaped my memory. So yeah, I wish I watched the film recently, but still cool. I mean, it looks really gnarly with all the blood. Oh, he's falling over. We'll just keep him over like that at the moment. Yeah, looks really gnarly with all the blood spraying up here, all the blood down the belt sander. It looks awesome. I'm really happy with this accessory, to be honest. Oh, it says NECA. That's a nice wee touch there. Yeah, the detail on this is great. I really like the paint and just the sculpt of it. Pretty cool. And of course, we get the hatchet itself, which, you know, does the trick. Blood smeared hatchet. As I said, it was slipping out of that hand, but you've got this one, so yeah, that holds it so much better. So that explains this hand. I'm presuming the other one is more suited for that belt sander there, but really like the hatchet. I'd maybe go for like a darker kind of silver. The movie is set at night a lot of the time, and I don't remember it being so like, it does look quite clean, doesn't it, as without the blood on it, of course, but it looks like a brand new hatchet. I would expect it to maybe be a wee tiny bit more gnarlier, but it's not a big deal. It's just something to point out, I suppose. And here he is. Here is the man himself, Victor Crowley. Now, as I said before on the channel, a lot of the times we look at the NECA Ultimate figures. We've not looked at any retro cloth. I'm not a massive fan of the retro cloth just due to the difference in scale with the Ultimate figures, etc. But yeah, I have picked up a couple and I'm glad I've got this guy. I just don't really have much to compare him to, but the detail in his face is just crazy here. I mean, look at that eye, the kind of glossiness, the shininess going on. It looks awesome. It just looks so gruesome and gnarly. I don't really know what to say. It is really well detailed. The paint there with all the blood splatter looks fantastic. The mouth. Yeah, really happy with this. And you've just got the cloth dungarees here, and you can see there's a lot of paint detail in here with the shading going on. Looks like dried in blood, as you'd expect. You've got the paint splatter all up the arms and the chest area. Kind of going back to the fact that it's more retro cloth, I was going to start talking about the hair. The hair, as you can see, is actually fabric as opposed to your all plastic looking on the NECA Ultimate figures. I don't know, like, personally I prefer an all plastic figure. I would prefer if Victor Crowley here was an Ultimate release and he did have sculpted plastic hair, but that is just my preference. I don't think it looks terrible. I don't even think it looks bad, but just, you know, my personal preference would be sculpted plastic hair. But I definitely think for this retro cloth figure, they have done an awesome job and it does look like the real deal. So yeah, not too fussed with that at all. Looking at his arms here, kind of typical boots. As I said, I've got the Ghostface retro cloth, and I'd be willing to bet money that they're the same shoes, same sculpt, maybe even as the Michael Myers ones as well, but does the trick. I'm not complaining. And here's his back. Look at how gruesome his back is. It's mental with the spine just protruding out there. And you just see that level of detail throughout the whole figure and the arms and things. So really happy with this. I mean, once again, NECA have taken an iconic character and just absolutely smashed it out the park with the level of detail and the paint, the accessories. Yeah, I mean, good job, NECA. So to run over the articulation on Victor Crowley here, we can get his head looking about that far up, which isn't too bad at all. You can get him looking about that far down, get his head moving left and right as well, so good range of movement in the head there. With his arm, you can get him moving about that far up. He's got a bicep swivel as well as that shoulder joints moving round. Yeah, bicep swivel. You've got a single jointed elbow here, so you can get it just nearly at a right angle. Get his wrist moving backwards and forwards, and you can rotate that round as well. Of course, just the same articulation in the other arm here. You can get a wee kind of ab crunch going on, but not too much movement. You can also move it left and right, that kind of diaphragm area. You can get his leg kicking forward about that much, which is great. Get it moving about that far backwards, which once again isn't too bad at all. Just a single jointed knee, and also you can get the foot moving backwards, forwards, and it also pivots. And that's about it for this Victor Crowley Hatchet figure, and I'm really happy with it. As I've said, I don't normally pick up these NECA retro cloth figures. I do have Michael Myers from Halloween 2 and the retro carded Ghostface from Scream, and I'm really happy to be adding Victor Crowley to that collection because I'm not really sure if NECA will be making an ultimate release of this guy anytime soon. So of course I'm going to pick up the retro cloth version. As I've said in the video, I do prefer an all plastic sculpt, especially when it comes to the clothing and the hair. However, NECA have just nailed this look. I love the paint throughout this figure with the blood splatters, the detail in the sculpt with the things like the face. It is fantastic, and the hair and the dungarees being a fabric and cloth combination really isn't throwing me off at all. If you're a fan of the Hatchet films, this figure is a must-have. You need to pick up this Hatchet figure if you love the Hatchet films, no doubt about it. If you like this video guys, do me a massive favour, go down below and smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well for future videos on the channel on collectibles and figures such as Victor Crowley right here. As I said, I do have Ghostface and Michael Myers on these retro cloth, retro carded, whatever you want to call it, NECA figures, so I might do a review on them, upload them to the channel soon. There'll definitely be a lot more horror figure reviews coming soon, as well as the usual Marvel, Legends and DC figures. You know the script by now, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch yous on the flip-flop later. Cheers.